Most people talk to their dogs the way they talk to a wall. Warmly, hopefully, with genuine feeling, but with a quiet assumption underneath it all that the words themselves do not really land. That the dog hears sound, feels tone, maybe picks up on a few trained commands, and that is about the extent of it. That assumption is wrong. And science has spent the last 2 decades proving exactly how wrong it is. Dogs understand language in ways that are more sophisticated, more layered, and more genuinely meaningful than most owners ever realize. Not every word, not full sentences, but specific words, and the research around which ones and why and what actually happens inside a dog brain when they hear them is some of the most surprising work in animal cognition ever published. These are 6 words your dog really understands, scientifically proven. And by the end of this, the way you speak to your dog may never be quite the same. The first word is their name. This one sounds obvious. Of course your dog knows their name, but what science has revealed about how they know it and what it actually means to them when they hear it spoken by someone they love goes much deeper than simple recognition. Deeper, in fact, than most people ever stop to consider. A landmark study from Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest used brain imaging technology to monitor dogs' neural responses as they listened to different words spoken by familiar voices. What researchers found was that when a dog hears their own name, a distinct and measurable pattern of brain activation occurs, one that differs significantly from their response to other familiar words, other dogs' names, or random sounds. The name is not just a sound they have learned to respond to through repetition. It is neurologically encoded as something that refers specifically and exclusively to them. But here is the layer most people miss entirely. The same research showed that dogs do not just recognize their name, they have a genuine emotional response to it. The brain regions activated when a dog hears their name overlap with regions associated with social bonding and emotional processing. Hearing their name, spoken by someone they are deeply attached to, triggers something that functions like anticipation, alertness, and emotional connection all at once. This means that every time you say your dog name, not as a command, not before a correction, just as a greeting, just to acknowledge them in the middle of an ordinary moment, you are doing something neurologically significant. You are activating the part of their brain that says, someone who matters to me is aware that I exist. That is not nothing, that is everything. To a creature whose entire emotional world is built around belonging to you. The second word is good. Specifically the word good used as praise, and what makes this word scientifically fascinating is that researchers have now successfully separated the word itself from the tone in which it is delivered, which turns out to be far more complicated and far more meaningful than anyone originally expected. The same Budapest research team discovered something that genuinely surprised the broader scientific community. Dogs process words and emotional tone using different hemispheres of the brain in a way that is strikingly similar to how humans process language. The left hemisphere handles the semantic meaning of words. The right hemisphere handles emotional tone and delivery. And crucially, both need to align for a dog reward system to fully and properly activate. What this means in everyday practice is remarkable. When you say good in a flat, neutral tone, your dog brain registers the meaning of the word but does not fully trigger the reward response. When you use an excited tone, but say a nonsense word your dog has never heard, the opposite happens. Emotional activation without any semantic meaning to anchor it. But when you say good with genuine warmth, enthusiasm, and authentic positivity, both hemispheres activate together at the same moment, and the reward center of the dog brain lights up in a way that is measurably and significantly different from either element working alone. Praise words, delivered with matching emotional tone, create a genuine neurological event inside your dog brain. The word matters. The feeling behind it matters just as much. And when they work together, something real and deeply significant happens. Something your dog is not just reacting to, but actually experiencing in a way that is closer to how a person feels when they are told they did something right by someone whose opinion means the world to them. The third word is stay. Out of all the words on this list, stay is the one that reveals something most profound about how dogs process instruction, and why they sometimes appear to struggle with it in ways that have absolutely nothing to do with intelligence or stubbornness, and everything to do with something happening in the room. Research in canine cognition, including studies conducted at the Duke Canine Cognition Center in North Carolina, has shown that dogs possess a sophisticated capacity for what scientists call inhibitory control, the ability to override a strong impulse and hold a position or behavior even when everything in their instinct and desire is telling them to move. When a dog truly understands stay, they are not simply freezing in place like a statue. They are actively managing competing internal drives in real time. They want to follow you. They want to move toward whatever is interesting them, and they are choosing, consciously and effortfully, to remain still instead. What makes stay particularly revealing is that dogs perform it significantly better when the person giving the command is calm and physically steady. Research has consistently shown that a handler's own body tension directly and measurably affects a dog's ability to hold a stay, because dogs are reading not just the word, but the entire physical and emotional communication happening alongside it. Stay said from a tense, anxious body produces worse results than the identical word delivered from a place of relaxed, quiet confidence. Your dog is not just hearing the word. They are reading everything about you in the moment you say it. The fourth word is no. Dogs understand no. But the research surrounding this particular word is more nuanced than most owners ever realize, and genuinely understanding that nuance can change how effective the word actually is in your hands. Studies from animal behaviorists across multiple institutions have consistently found that dogs process no most effectively when it is used sparingly, delivered in a calm and steady voice, and followed immediately by a redirect toward a desired behavior. The way most people use no, repeating it, allowing it to escalate in volume, disconnecting it from any alternative guidance, produces diminishing results over time. Dogs habituate to it remarkably quickly. The word loses its signal value the more carelessly and frequently it is used. But what makes no genuinely remarkable from a pure cognitive standpoint is what researchers discovered about how dogs actually process it at a conceptual level. Studies have shown that dogs grasp the concept of prohibition itself, not merely the trained response to a specific sound, but the actual abstract idea that a behavior is being stopped and should not continue. When dogs were tested with novel prohibited behaviors they had never encountered or been corrected for before, dogs with a solid and well-established understanding of no were able to generalize the concept of prohibition to entirely new situations far more readily than dogs who had only ever experienced no as a conditioned reflex. Your dog is not just learning a word. They are learning a concept that exists beyond any single moment of correction. The fifth word is come. Come is the word that most directly and nakedly reveals how dogs understand intention, not just sound, not just command structure, but the genuine emotional desire behind a word to close the distance between two beings who belong to each other. Research from the University of Portsmouth has demonstrated that dogs respond to come in measurably different ways depending on the emotional state of the person calling them, even when the word is delivered at the same volume, the same pitch, and with the same surface-level tone. Dogs called by an owner experiencing mild internal anxiety, even anxiety that is not consciously expressed through voice, are slower to respond and show more physical hesitation than dogs called by an owner who is genuinely calm. Researchers concluded that dogs are simultaneously reading microsignals in posture, breathing rhythm, and subtle facial expression alongside the spoken word, integrating all of that layered information into their response. For a dog, come is not merely an instruction, it is an invitation. Every positive, rewarding recall, every time the word was spoken and arrival was met with warmth, with celebration, with genuine joy at their return, builds a cumulative emotional weight inside the word itself. Come, said by someone your dog trusts completely, becomes neurologically associated with safety, reward, and the best possible outcome. It becomes one of the most emotionally powerful sounds in their entire world. This is also why punishing a dog after they finally return following several calls is so quietly devastating. The last experience their brain recorded was the word come followed by something unpleasant. That erosion of meaning is real. It shows up in behavior, and it takes sustained, patient work to repair. The sixth word is okay. This one surprises nearly everyone. And it may be the most quietly important word on this entire list, not because of what it teaches, but because of what it does to a dog body in the moment they hear it. Research has shown that dogs use their owner expressions, words, and behavioral signals as what scientists call social reference points. They look to their person to interpret whether an ambiguous or uncertain situation is safe or threatening, and they take that reading seriously. Studies have specifically found that calm verbal reassurances, including the simple word "okay" delivered with relaxed tone and steady body language, measurably reduce stress indicators in dogs facing uncertain or unfamiliar situations. When your dog hears something strange and turns to look at you, and you say "okay" in a calm and easy voice, something specific and physical happens in their nervous system. Their cortisol response, the stress hormone, is dampened. Their heart rate, which may have elevated slightly in response to the sound, begins to return toward baseline. In that moment, the word "okay" functions less like language and more like a physiological regulator. Your dog is borrowing your nervous system to calibrate and settle their own. There is something worth sitting with in that. An animal so finely attuned to you that a single word from your mouth actually changes the chemistry happening inside their body. That is not a pet reacting to noise. That is a living creature whose nervous system has become so deeply woven into yours, through years of trust and proximity and love, that your calm words reach them at a biological level. 6 words. A name that tells them they belong. Praise that lights up their brain from 2 directions at once. A command that requires real, effortful trust. A boundary that teaches a concept larger than any single moment. An invitation that has become synonymous with safety. And a quiet word that tells their body everything is going to be fine. They are listening. They have always been listening. More carefully, more deeply, and with more genuine understanding than most people ever knew. If your dog has a word that always makes their ears go up, that one specific word that reaches them every single time, no matter what else is happening, drop it in the comments. Just the word. No explanation needed. You will be amazed how many other dogs around the world are listening for the exact same thing, like this video if it changed something in how you think about your dog mind. And subscribe if you want to keep going deeper into the science of the creature who has always, without question, been paying attention to you.